Howdy all, welcome to Lex Lives. Hey, I think it's time we play a little 7 Days to Die. Weird. My plants have grown up strangely. Like, I say strangely because... Oh, I don't know how many plants there are. Dang it. 1, 2, 3... Shoot, I can't count these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Rows of 9. I say strangely because I was on here for a while, and I'm pretty sure when I logged off, they were not fully grown. So I find that to be a little suspicious. Just a little bit. All right. So I figured probably be working a little bit more on the garden today. As you can see, I did get more of it done, and it is pretty much, I think, where it needs to be at this point. And so size-wise, I mean, at least for now. Although I always feel like I don't make them big enough because I think my last one was 7 and this one is 9, and so I don't know. All right, I want to say these came from over here. Dang it, I was too fast. I already did the coffee. Potatoes. That's nice that we move up from 2 plants to 4 plants now. And my yucca plants from 1 to 2. Okay. What that means is I can come over here now, and we can actually make up some goldenrod tea. We can make up some coffee. I am not going to use up my corn yet because I'm going to save that for the better, was it meat stews or whatever. But I wanted to see about getting some rails, some kind of rail, like a railing. Hey, there is wooden railing. Look at that. I don't think I need that many. Maybe though. Let's go with 75. We'll call it. And I put those in here, and now I think I actually want them back. What I'd like to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll put one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, how did that not make it in the middle? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh. Well. Put one there, and we'll put one there. Okay. Now, we'll get you guys back in there. You can come down here. We'll see how these work. Oh. Dude, I totally didn't realize it was going to work like that. I thought they were going to be in the middle. That's fine, though. I like that. I was planning on them being in the middle. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put this extra walkway around the outside edge here. So, let's see. We'll see. Oh, I gotta get some more wood. So I went and seen the new Alien Covenant. Was pretty good. Wasn't great. I was hoping for great because the Alien franchise is one of my favorites, and as I discussed last episode. And so I didn't go into this expecting great, though, because I kind of feel like Ridley Scott is one of those guys who made something that was more my style in their younger days, and in their old days they have no clue how to reconnect with what they did in the past, and they want to. And so, as we saw with Prometheus, which was good but not great, in my opinion, you know, you go to see an alien movie, you don't go to see black nano goo flying around. That is not why I went to see your movie, to see black nano goo. I kind of feel like this should probably... I don't know what to do here now, because... I guess we'll do this. Can we... No? Really? Ugh. Alright, you know what then? I'm gonna do this then. I need all these things out here at the same time. There we go. Let's do this. And wrench. Shoot. Don't fall off, please. Okay. And then we're going to put a torch. Oh yeah, floaty torches. Right, right. Kind of wanted them to be on top, but whatever. We'll be floaty torches. Floaty torches that don't know exactly where they want to stick. Oh, and I didn't have enough. I need, I'm totally going to move this down. But yeah, it was all right. It was you know, a sequel to Prometheus, and so I knew going in it wasn't going to be what I wanted. I thought for a second. Okay, so spoilers. I gotta talk about this because this made me laugh. So the movie opens on a colony ship headed for another world, and all the crew's asleep, and they get struck by a solar flare. And so some of the crew gets killed, and things are going wrong with the ship, and they have to wake the crew for the emergency, and so one of the people, only one of the people wakes up and decides that he gets lonely and wakes another person up, And then says, "Oh no, wait, that was Passengers." Yeah, no, Aliens basically starts out the same way as Passengers, which made me laugh. And I need more cloth, so let's go find some place I can loot for some cloth here. And so they eventually make it to a planet. I talked about it before, but one of the things that I find happening in modern movies that occasionally you'll get from a modern movie, but most of the time you just don't, is that somewhere in there they've forgotten how to tie together an emotional story. And so they like set this thing up to be an emotional story. And I mean, not that Aliens was a great love story or anything, but so they kill off one of the characters, and all the crew are couples because it's a colony going to another planet, right? And so, of course, if one person dies, then that means that the coupled person is now alone, and so they got this woman, and her husband is the captain of the ship, and I never did catch. She had something to do with terraforming, but he died in an accident, and so she's left without her husband, and so she's very distraught over this for about 5 minutes of the movie. Uh, for her, it was a little longer, I guess, than 5 minutes. But hey, you know what? My crossbow was in my inventory. I needed to get it out. Thanks. And but then you'd expect the movie doesn't take place over that long a time. So if you're distraught when you go down to the planet, you should probably still be distraught by the end of the movie. Not all smiling and laughing at later scenes. And I mean, at least there was some time lapse between her husband's death and the end of the movie, because they did have to travel from where the accident occurred to the planet where everything goes wrong. But one of the characters' wife dies on the planet, and like 3 scenes later, he acts like nothing ever happened to her. Not like calling her by name or anything, just he's no longer sad. And, he's like, I never opened this box. It's okay, it wasn't worth opening. Did I not loot this place? I had to have looted this place. Where's my flashlight? Oh, I got my spiked. This isn't open either. What the heck? I mean, it's not worth it, but what the heck? I didn't loot the Shotgun Messiah? Wow. So, yeah, it's, that's not bad. I might keep that one. I mean, it's not my style of weapon. Sniper rifle! But, and it's basically the same movie as Prometheus, actually. With the addition of a second character, um, I don't really want to give too much away, but it's basically the same thing as Prometheus, honestly. No creator aliens in this one. I mean, there are, but not as characters that the main group interacts with. But man, the aliens still come from nanite goo, and I'm just like, no, I want. I mean, that's in there too, but I wanted my aliens, and they're barely in the movie. We're 2 movies into this story, and this one really struck me. One of the main characters in the movie goes through this process where, okay, super spoilers. David from the first movie is in this movie. And David has spent his time on the planet creating the alien that is the standard alien from Aliens. Because in Prometheus you had a giant starfish and sort of an alien at the very end of it, but yeah, this movie also took to the very end to get, well, at least they had the actual aliens, and so I'm going to take that just because that's a rare thing. And so most of the movie is taken up by David talking about how he's better than everybody and how he created everything, all the alien that they're having to deal with. And I'm just like, is this movie supposed to be a metaphor, Ridley Scott? Because I kind of feel like David is your metaphor for yourself, and that you're like, I can't believe they went and made more alien stuff without me. I created the whole thing, and nothing you could do is greater than the alien I created. That's what I came out of that movie feeling. There are some great scenes in the movie. I especially like some of the interactions between the two synths, because they're the same model. Well, they're not the same. Well, they're the same model, but they're different series of the same model. And but once again, as my sister who went with me and I discussed after we got on the movie, was the complete lack of any kind of scientific thought in this movie. And I don't mean like, oh, well, you know, the stuff they're doing is impossible because blah, 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 physics. I mean like simple stuff that anybody should realize, like if you're going to go to another planet that you've never been to before, chances are you are not going to go without any kind of, as my sister pointed out, and I didn't even realize, no scanners of any kind. There are no scanners in this movie. They don't scan a single thing. There's one of the guys is like standing there while they're taking samples of the biome so they can do zoological workup on the planet, and he's like, yeah, I'll be right back, I gotta go take a leak. And I'm like, there's no way you're gonna allow him to put human bacteria or proteins or anything else that is found in bodily waste into an alien environment. I mean, at least not until they've got their scans of the environment going. But yeah, I mean, that was in Prometheus too. One of the things that I took away from Prometheus was their biologist made comments about how much he hated living things. I mean, he was the biologist, so why does he hate living things? I like that I came down here for cloth, and I've managed to get 5 of them so far. Um, but, yeah. The dude totally smokes and throws a cigarette down in the forest. Well, I don't think it's a cigarette. But he smokes and throws his joint or whatever down in the middle of the forest. I'm like, really? These are the trained, and we're not talking like aliens. Alien, was a group of miners. And aliens was on a planet that had already started to be terraformed, and was a group of Marines, or whatever they were. I think they were Marines. And, and so Prometheus has got people who are supposed to be scientists running around complaining about how they don't want to do their science work when they're the first group to ever travel to another star system in that movie. And I'm like, you're not sending the guy who's like, ew, this biological thing has gross biology and I'm the biologist. No, it's going to be someone who's excited about being a biologist. Someone who wants to get into the muck and find new things. And the geologist in that movie was just as bad. And then this one is the first extrasolar colony. And once again, they're people who are scientists, are walking around without any kind of protective gear, and not to protect yourself, but to protect the environment. They're mucking around with their earth gear on, squatted down in the river taking samples from the river, and I'm like, well, it's too late now. You already soiled your own river. I know it's a weird thing to nitpick a movie for, but come on. You drive me crazy, movie. Whoops. Give me that egg back. So the other thing I kind of thought I'd try and talk about was last episode I talked a lot about how excited I was to run this Thing Alien crossover. And I gotta say, it went off pretty good so far. We didn't get very far into it, but I was having a blast. And we're not done yet. They barely got started, but so I had them. Yep. Okay, how many more do I need? I need 1, 2, probably 3 more torches right now. I had them. So they picked up a job. Well, they didn't pick up a job. They get assigned. They get assignments, I guess, from their military type leader. And so word has come that one of their mountain outposts has been attacked by, well, not the outpost, but people in the area are reporting attacks by dogmen. And so how long does it take to make a torch, dude? Sheesh. And so they're supposed to go and investigate what is going on. And so on their way, they do get attacked by dogmen. And then after they fight the dogmen, they head on into camp. And Just gonna stick one right there for now. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good. Let's get down and see what it looks like from a distance. And so they get into the place, and they get led into the fort. It's basically a fort. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I've never actually stood back and looked at anything, I don't think, in my normal gameplay before. That's the most decoration right there I've ever done in 7 Days to Die that wasn't modded. Oh man, did you see that group of zombies just spawn in the rain here? And so they get in and they get into the bar, and the place is called McCready's, which is Kurt Russell's character from The Thing, if I remember correctly. I didn't get a chance to rewatch them like I was going to before we started. And I wound up spending 2 days working on putting in the new sinks that somebody else bought and decided they couldn't be bothered to. I killed those zombies and the rain stopped. Nice. I see something down there in the middle of the road. I think it's a bag of garbage, though. So when they walk in, there's a worried-looking barbarian sitting near the doorway. A group of people in one corner, a group of people in another corner, and they talk to the different groups of people. And the one person doesn't know anything, or the one person's a merchant with bodyguards. She doesn't know anything. 3 scouts who work for the same organization are in the other corner, and so they talk to them for a bit and find out that the gnolls have been attacking people, or they've seen signs of gnolls and something else that's attacking people. And then when they talk to the barbarian, they find out that his group got attacked by something at night, and he wasn't sure what it is, and that his guy is wounded. And so the healer in the group goes upstairs to help out. I can't remember if I opened this safe in here or not. I remember I started to, but I don't remember if I actually did it. Nope. Okay. And actually, before we do that, I didn't bring any with me. All right. Oh, you know what? I got a beer right here, though. I was gonna say I'm gonna drink a coffee before I get started, but and so they get in there and they go upstairs to see him, and the barbarian is wounded, and the scouts told him that whatever it is ripping open people's chests. Not people, but animals, because they haven't seen any people killed by it, not the scouts. And so when they go see the barbarian, the guy's all wounded, and what they're facing is a creature that lays eggs that eventually burst their way out of your chest. And on top of that, they're shapeshifters, so they can look like anybody. And so you don't know if a person is the person, if the person is a shapeshifter, you know, and on top of that, people are, you know, their chests are bursting open, and small tadpole versions of the creature are running around. It's awesome. And so they heal the guy, and then decide that they've talked to everybody, and so they camp for the night, or not camp for the night. They stay in their room for the night, and so the next morning, when they get up, the one guy hears, well, they all hear screaming, but only one of them goes out the door to see what's going on. And when he goes out the door, he sees the barbarian who was wounded crash down on the floor, and then he's screaming, but he's laying face down, and then he stops screaming, and then uh, his body jerks upwards, and then blood pools out underneath of him, and a small red, small dog-sized lizard basically scampers out from underneath of him, and a guard who was walking nearby heard it and opened the door, and so it went out the door into the blizzard that has now snowed them in, because overnight they got like 6 to 8 feet of snow. And so they are trapped in this fort by because they're in the mountains, and the whole area has now snowed in. And so they don't even go see what's going on. Instead, they go down to eat breakfast. And I'm like, okay. So because they lose track of the thing, it dives into a snowbank, and guard is trying to kill it by stabbing the snowbank, and so there's no more trail. But they don't go the direction that it was going to look, and so they let it get away basically. So the next time they face it, it's going to be an adult instead of a tadpole. And then oh, you know what? I forgot. After they healed the dude the night before, this other guy come in, and he had a little bit of blood smeared across his face, and his sleeve was torn, and he said that his entire group had been killed off by something. And so when they asked him about it, he's like, yeah, we don't know what it was, but we faced them a couple of times, and we lost people each night. They mostly come at night. Mostly. Uh, which, of course, is a quote from Aliens. And so then there's a group of miners there who had a cave or a mine collapse on them, and when they tried to make it to the outpost, because there's only a few of them left, and they they took some pretty horrific wounds. They got attacked by what they thought were gnolls, but were actually these creatures, and so now they're some of them are infected, and so the head miner comes downstairs, and when he goes back upstairs with the food, because he's going to take food to all his people who are, badly wounded and can't move, he gets upstairs and finds that the room next to his, 2 of the people are dead and 2 of the people are missing. And so when they run upstairs, they see that whatever happened while everybody had come downstairs, because there are bloody footprints leading out the door onto the catwalk that surrounds the fort. Now the blizzard is still ongoing, so you can only see about 20 feet maybe distance, and so the nearest guard tower is farther than that. And guards probably wouldn't be looking inside the fort anyways. So they try to follow the tracks, and they lose them in the blizzard. The footprints get snowed in, and so now they're looking, and because something's killing people in the inn where they were sleeping now, and so they follow it, and they flush out one of the tadpoles, they're called, and it dives down the well before they can get to it. They tried, but they weren't fast enough to catch it. So now another little one has got away from them, which will come back as an adult. And so then one of the guards goes into the barracks, and when he gets in the barracks, he yells that 2 of the guards are dead who were sleeping, because there's enough guards to have 2 shifts. And so the guy who runs the place, McCready, he's with them. And so they all run over to the barracks, and when they go in the barracks, they find 2 of the guys dead, but they also see footprints matching the missing miners leading back out into the snow. And so they try to follow the footprints, and when they run outside. The guy who they'd seen the night before with a little bit of blood on his face and the torn sleeve comes running out of the bar. Or the inn, I guess it's not really just a bar, but comes running out of the inn, and he's standing out there when they come outside, and they hear him yell, what is that? I don't know what that is. You know, it's huge. And so they come running out, and I don't remember exactly what I said. It was something similar to that. And so they come running out, and he's like, I don't know what it was, but it was big, and it ran around the corner of the building. And so they run right past him, and as they go past him, he shifts into his natural form and attacks the person at the rear of the party. And in the game, when you lose all your hit points, you go unconscious. Uh, was I bleeding out and didn't notice? Dang it. And so they took her down, just smash, smash, smash. Because they're a lot lower level than this creature is, and so its 3 attacks were enough to drain her hit points to nothing. And so now she's unconscious, and but they totally didn't even doubt that that guy was telling the truth. And so so it took them a few rounds of combat, and uh, another one got knocked unconscious, and then a third one was mostly unconscious at that point. But McCready, who's a higher level than they are, had a really good round of combat and managed to knock out half the thing's hit points in one round of combat. And so they managed to kill that one. But there's they know at least 4 more are loose inside the walls of the fort, because I saw a red one, a gray one, and then they've got the 2 miners. It was pretty cool. My 6-year-old nephew, he's like, this isn't scary, but it's weird, and now I don't know who to trust. And and my sister, she was like, she's like, I can't believe you're doing this. And she gave me an angry look when I started quoting Aliens. And she's like, okay, I only quoted Aliens the one time, but I had to. It was too perfect to use in that spot. So, but she's like, I can't believe you're making us do this. And I'm like, why? It's gonna be awesome. And she's like, I am so creeped out, and we're not even in McCready's yet. Back when they were fighting the Knolls. It was pretty fun, and I am excited to see how it plays out next time, because like I said, they've got at least 4 more to fight. I might, depending on how badly the rolls go for me or them, will determine how many there ultimately are. My philosophy is to keep them on the edge of death. They've had a couple of cakewalk fights so far, but most fights involve at least 1 person or 2 unconscious. In fact, the fight that they ended last week with, ended with 2 of them having lost death saves, and because you get 3 death saves after you go unconscious, and if someone can heal you before you run out of death saves, which could be done in 1 round if I'm feeling particularly vicious, or could take up to 5 rounds to decide if you live or die on your own. Usually someone can get to you and heal you before it gets that bad, though. And but yeah, so I thought that was a lot of fun. Although I could have done without it taking 6 hours to get through all the little tiny breaks that everybody's got to take every few minutes. All right, with that, Click like if you like, subscribe, share, and catch the next one. And I will talk to you later.